Welcome to the Outside the Business Boxes podcast, where we're talking about how to ignite your business today for the future using systems for everything you do in your business to make your life, your employees' lives, and your customers' lives easier for you to ultimately enjoy your business and, of course, make more money. I'm your host, Chad Murray. Hi, thanks for coming to Outside the Business Box podcast. I am Chad, your host of our journey here into making our businesses better. Today, my guest is Cody Whitwood. Hello, Cody.
Hello, Chad.
Tell us, I know who you are, but who are you in this chimney industry world that we live in?
I am the sales manager for Master Services. I hire and I train all of the educators, our sales guys. Some people call them sweeps, but I inspire in them the ability to go out and properly educate the customers on how to use, service, and keep up with the needed maintenance for their fireplaces and chimneys.
Right. And what our task was, say our topic today is, as I was last week, I had the secret sauce. I kicked the 25-year chokehold of, what we were doing with hiring and stuff. So now it's the, how do we do it? What is the secret sauce to actually a system of hiring? And so with Cody, we have worked on it together. I'm not going to lie. This isn't just a Chad thing. We worked on exactly how to do this. We did okay this summer, but when I was in the hospital is when we struck gold on an ad I wrote while I was laying in a hospital bed. And that ad we have pawned off in the different ways to say it. And then I've actually given it to probably, golly, I bet you 7, 8 different chimney industry people that have used it as well. And they've made it their own, and it works. It just works. For the money that you would spend in chimneys in Facebook versus Indeed is amazing. And so, yeah, everybody complains about Indeed being so much, and really Indeed used to be really good when it first came out, but it just tends to be more of spending more money and not getting the results that it used to do. And I think a lot of people weren't having real good success with Facebook. And when we kind of figured it out, that's pretty much all we do. We do a little bit of Indeed still, but it's all Facebook that's working, is it not?
Absolutely, it is.
And so, well, let me give a shout out to our sponsors. The first one is Rush Profits. We'll be doing this every 10 minutes in here. Alan Rush's website, go to rushprofits.com. He has a weekly sales videos. We subscribe to it, do we not, Cody?
We do.
And we use it as part of our sales training and educator training every week, right?
Monday morning minutes.
And
if they have Surefire, it's available on the Surefire Training Academy.
And there you go. And so rushprofits.com, go down to the weekly sales videos, and you can subscribe from there. I believe it's $79.95 a month to do it, and it's probably your best sales training for the bang for the buck that you'll get for 3 minutes a week. And if 3 minutes a week can almost raise your profits by 10%, oh my Lord, what a great deal. So okay, back to this. So Cody, before, we'll talk about, we were doing Indeed, come June, or actually April, May, and we weren't really having a tremendous amount of luck. We did get who we got hired working for us today, but it just seemed like tell me how our experience with it until we came up with this.
With Indeed, it was a lot. We initially had a whole lot of applicants come in, and then we realized that the money that we were spending, it wasn't reaching that particular group of people. The targeted ads that we were paying for that were supposed to be getting us in front of the right group of people. It didn't seem to be producing what exactly we were wanting out of it. And we were getting a lot of the younger kids that maybe didn't have a driver's license. We were getting a lot of out of state applicants that lived maybe 10 hours, 12 hours away, those kinds of things. When we did switch to Facebook and we could say, we want to broadcast to people currently that are in this area that are searching for these keywords, it really has provided us with a stricter pool of applicants, if you will, more of a straight shot to get us in front of the group of people that we want to be presented to as a possible employment.
Well, I think even Indeed, we were doing the right area. I mean, we were getting people outside the area. We were still, our parameters were still roughly the same. It's just what the kind of applicants we were getting weren't as quality, that we'd like to see, from a targeted thing. And I think one of the things that, we'll talk about here is our actual process. Cause I don't even know if our, let's just say, employee gene pool, did it really change? We did change platforms when I wrote that ad, but I mean, it was what we did with these people that made it changed a lot of the stuff. I think more than maybe if we'd have used the process we have now in June, we may have found a lot more nuggets than what we did. I mean,
I agree with that.
and so, I mean, to let you guys know, our process is an ad, which I'll go over the ad here in a little bit. I mean, I wrote this ad in a hospital bed. I had nothing else to do but think about it for a while. And I just threw it out there. And it was immediate. We had like for sales educator. There's our timer. I already just did it though, for our sponsor. So I'm going to restart that timer. And so I wrote the ad and we got an immediate response. And I think what I was doing in the hospital, nobody knew I was in the hospital. I mean, except for my own company. But I didn't even tell Cody and John and Brian that I even had this ad out yet. Didn't even give them access to work the ad. I was working it from the hospital. And I was texting the people, I mean, through Facebook Messenger to see if they were worth anything to talk to. And I would sit there and message them and have conversations with them. And then I would pass it off over to Cody and go do it. And I did that for a little while. And then I got them all involved and do the same process. And boom, 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 it started to work, I mean, but really we sit there, we take the ad out. And then Cody, you just literally text them and start having a conversation before we even talk to them, right?
Right. It's always a text conversation first, just to let them know who I am, what my role is in the company. You ask them a few little questions here or there, trying to confirm some of the stuff that may be on the resume. Ask a couple more in-depth questions, and we send over our videos.
And what 2 videos do we send them over?
It is the value video and
The culture video.
the culture video. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've had to silence my phone.
It's okay.
Keep
Yeah.
getting
So we send
dings.
them over these 2 videos, which, by the way, I mean, another plug. It's called Cumberland Creative is who does our videos, and those are the 2 videos that helped us really inspire people that want to work for us. On top of a conversation, and all this is done before we've actually had a voice conversation with them. Correct?
Yes, absolutely. We always say, hey, here's these videos, watch these. Let me, get back to me if this seems like a company that you want to work for. And after watching those videos, I want to say, just I don't think I've had a single person watch the video and not get back to me, honestly. Like everybody after watching the culture video and the value video, they always get back to us generally within minutes, because the videos themselves are, I think one is about 3 minutes and one is about 4. And so generally within 10 to 15 minutes, they're getting back with me saying, hey, when can we set up a meeting?
Now, mind you, with saying this, we probably had over 100 people reply to the ad, and we've only hired I don't know what. Since this Facebook ad educator wise, we only hired one guy, right?
Right,
We only hired one that fit our parameters,
right.
right? I
And
mean,
we've had 65 apply for educators, and I've hired one.
yep.
So
But the point is, I mean, that may look at it as a bad thing to people, but the fact of the matter is, I mean, out of 65 people, it's just that's just who's out there answering the ads. You know, you got to realize if they're looking for a job, why are they looking for a job? So I mean, trying to find and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this one guy? Wasn't he already still employed?
uh yes, he was already working, and he was trying to run a construction company that he had started right before COVID,
All right,
and
start that
all
over.
of that just
I'm gonna have to edit that out. He totally broke up. Start the answer over again.
okay. Um, yes, he was already working. He had tried to start his own construction company just before COVID, and that didn't work out. He couldn't hire anybody. It was kind of same problem everybody was running into.
Oh,
But yeah, and then he was working. Um, I don't remember what it was he was doing, but he was already had a job employed, and he came to work for us.
and by the way, he's I mean he's our newest guy, and he's well, tracking to be one of our better guys right now.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
he's bought in. He's what we call a chimney guy, and we hopefully he stays that way, and you know, and we'll keep growing from there.
Yep. I was out. I did a spot check on one of his jobs. I just showed up on one of his jobs a little bit ago, and I was out there watching his process, listening to him talk to his customer, and just point for point, everything, just one word after another, the exact way that he's supposed to say it and talk with the customer. His discovery was on point. Everything.
Awesome. All right, so I want to keep the anticipation here of let it break now. I'm gonna read you the ad I wrote in the hospital bed, and so it goes. So the ad name was Inspector Sales Educator. So I mean, I kind of left it as, you know, what kind of job is this? You kind of get it's an inspector, there's sales, but you're an educator. So it really left them with a, you know, something different than just said sales or sales manager or whatever, right? And so the first sentence is now going to start every single ad we ever do. Career posting. This is not a job! Exclamation mark. That just starts off the ad. And then I'll just keep going and no more comments. So career posting. This is not a job. Huge growth opportunities with our platform. Unique opportunity because we are a specialist in the construction service sector. We train, pay big, provide all the appointments, truck, gas, tools, cool tools too, provide all equipment. You'll be a W-2 employee, health insurance available. You want to work for a company that wants you to make as much money as you can? Question mark. We want you to make as much money as you can! Exclamation point. Our career opportunity path is written for you to succeed right out of 6 weeks of a $750 paid training. After training, a guaranteed money minimum for living is given unless you itemize a better sales number. So you get this, or you either get this or a big that, and the that is caps and a huge exclamation mark. Never worry about money again. How do you do it? Show up, learn our process, have some sales experience and personal accountability, and the job is a slam dunk for you. Now the particulars. So if you notice, we haven't said anything what we do. There's not one word of chimney or anything in there at all. Now the particulars. We call our sales positions educators. We will educate, identify, and take sales orders. We are a fireplace chimney masons that service, build, remodel, and create beautiful fireplaces, 2 chimneys in Dallas, Houston, and Oklahoma City. We're only hiring in the DFW area. Opportunities to move later are available. Need a clean DL, no felony, able to climb on roofs, good with iPads, can learn special cool tools. Our educators have daily training meetings to keep your growth and learning. We never stop growing, and your sales numbers too. Our investment is in you. We'll never stop so that you keep investing in us. I can't grow my business without culture and awesome people. Come and find out how to be a real part of a company that actually cares about you and your success. Can't wait to meet you! Exclamation mark. And we play off that ad with every one of our positions, right?
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, if you want a copy of this ad, you can just email me or at chat@outsidethebusinessbox.com, or you can just message me on Facebook, and I'll be glad to do it. Pause. Girls, come get him. Augie, go lay down. Can't hear him. He's breathing so loud. Okay. And so, all right, back to it. Yeah. So if you want to get a hold of me, message me on Messenger or email me at chat@outsidethebusinessbox.com. All right. We got to stop for another moment with our advertisers, or our not advertisers. What are they called? Sponsors. And now another moment from our sponsors. SnapLock Rotary Sweep Systems, the next generation of chimney and air duct cleaning equipment. Or let me start that over. And now another message from our sponsors. SnapLock Rotary Sweep Systems, the next generation of chimney and duct cleaning equipment. We personally, literally at Master Service, just today handed out the rest of our SnapLock cameras. Is that not right? Or trained them on it, Cody?
Absolutely.
Oh, we got a bad connection. But we did just train them today. I hear your response again.
Yes, we did train them on how to use the snap cams today.
Okay, good. Who's had one up until today? Is it who's been using one?
Marty.
And he was our best sales guy last week.
And just to let you know, he just had one go through while we were talking on the phone, or while we're here on the podcast. He's got bundle, smoke shelf lining, inside tuck point, painting the firebox, $24,000
sale.
set,
I
and
see it.
PCR,
Yep.
$8,000.
Yep.
That was the one that I was out there, listening to him, and our process, the anatomy of a sale. He's got it down. He actually wrote it down line by line on flashcards.
Good.
And he practiced on all of his neighbors. He said, "Hey, can I just come over and read these to you?"
Awesome.
Like he's trying to sell Ginsu knives.
Well, I mean, and that's just it. Who are you looking for when you're hiring someone? Someone that buys into you, right? Your company. I mean, well, let's all face it. We have a lot of people that don't buy into our company. They're there for a job. And the fact of the matter is, you never stop hiring. If you listen to last week's podcast, the secret sauce is to commit as a company to never stop hiring and training, right?
Right.
What's today's aha moment is the process of hiring. And so, I mean, I'll repeat it again. So you take an ad out. I just read you an ad similar to that. Now, the clue, the key to an ad is it can be completely different than everybody else. I mean, label it something else. You can use my ad. You can write your own, but you just don't want to be the same thing as everybody else. I mean, that's the key. And you want to show them a path that this is a different kind of company to work for. They really do care. Our video shows that. Our ad shows that. And obviously, when you're texting them before we even talk to them, it shows that. And then when they finally get on the phone with us, we go through everything again, right? And it shows that. Now, Then I'll continue the process. So that we sit there, we send them, they answer the ad, we send them the videos, we talk to them, message them, and then we go through the process of doing a online phone interview, and then we bring them in for a one-on-one actual interview. So they've literally had, I mean, probably 3 to 5 conversations with us already before we've ever even met them face to face.
Right.
Now, the success of this one, so I mean, it sounded bad, 1 out of 64. Well, how many crew members have we hired off the app? Way more than one.
Yeah, I think 6 or 7.
Right. And so, and all good. No one's quit. All awesome. All people that are on our. Actually, it's funny thing is to get my culture to really be going on our Connect Team app, getting everybody to acknowledge it and talk on it and write on it. The new guys have been more active than the older guys. The old dog syndrome versus the new guy syndrome, right? Mm-hmm. And so, just to kind of let everybody know, we had an incident last week. Luckily, our company did not, but I was literally, so I'm going off topic here because something I did want to discuss. And so I was coaching a company, unnamed, obviously, last week. And as I was coaching them, I was telling them about all the money we had spent and all of the time we've spent, which time is money as well. And they had on marketing and not marketing, excuse me, on marketing ourselves to hiring in the systems that we have now. We've completely changed how we hire and train people now. And we're still going to overhaul the system we have now in January, right? And so putting it all on this app that we have called Connect Team. Well, Connect Team also has its own social media thing to it where you like and comment on people's posts in the company. And I'm trying to get everybody to be more involved. I mean, it's not like an addictive thing like Facebook thing is, but at least, every couple of days, look at it, comment, like stuff, whatever. Well, I'm in the middle of a session and telling this company all about what's going on with what we've done this year. And they asked me, was it worth it? And one of the things the guy said was, it looked me straight in the eye, kind of smirked. Do you think the Jim Brewer training was worth it? And I said, hell yeah, absolutely, 100%. Now, hear me up, guys, everyone out there listening and girls. 2 minutes later, they got the call. The big, in parentheses, the call. And I witnessed it. I watched it. I wish I had it recorded. They got the call that one guy was outside. The other guy just came outside that was inside cleaning the chimney or inspecting the chimney. And the guy was unresponsive, bleeding from the head. Fell off the ladder. 1-story house. I listened for about 10 minutes and I watched them. And I've had this call 3 times in my life. I've been in business 25 years here and I've had 3 of these calls. And I'm telling you, it's the worst call you'll ever get. And as a business owner, and if you don't start treating this business in the safety issue, if you haven't had this call yet, you're gonna. It is inevitable you're gonna get this call. I guarantee it. I know 2 other companies got this call last week as well. Not this bad, where it's unresponsive and bleeding from the head, but I know 3 companies last week got that call. And actually, I had found out about one this weekend after this one happened and occurred. So, I mean, I know of 3 companies last week that got the call. So if you're not doing safety ladder and rope training and harnessing the guys up wearing helmets, I'm telling you, I witnessed the call on top of me and my own memories of having it. And I got to tell you, if you're not safety conscious, please invest in being safety conscious. So anyway, part of our culture is I made a video on that and I put it on Team Connect or Connect Team. And as of to date, I told the management, I want everybody to like and share or like this video and comment on it. And as of right now, I think we have 46 people. We have 46 employees. And as of right now, we have 33 thumbs up and 15 comments. So we're almost there to have, if not already there, because not everybody comments and likes. We may have everybody accounted for already that's been on here. And so, but that's just culture. But anyway, but that kind of goes into the hiring. So when we hire people, Cody shows them Connect Team. They do all their onboarding through Connect Team. And as of next year, we will start having their training on Connect Team with quizzes and everything else and blah, blah, blah. And so, but we're developing this system and the hiring will then, well, I mean, it isn't really part of the hiring, it's the post hiring, the onboarding and stuff. But and I know it's me talking a lot. So Cody, tell us some of this, what's been going on with your hiring experience here in the last 6 months. Tell us some stories on that.
We've had some, definitely been some interesting stories. Um, people that want to meet up in parking lots to do their interviews, those kinds of things. Um, but one of the things that I think is really intriguing. I was speaking with someone the other day, one of my old college professors, and we were talking about hiring and whatnot. And he's since left the school and he started his own business, and he was telling me about his hiring process. And, uh, I was telling him about how we go through, and we initially talk with them for a bit on Facebook, and we do some texting back and forth, and then we either do a Zoom meeting and then an in-person meeting, or we'll skip straight to the in-person meeting. And he said that was really intriguing, and he was definitely looking to do something more along those lines. What he sees is in most businesses, the number one complaint is that there's no communication, or there's just a lack of an adequate amount of communication. So by taking those steps and you're slowly building up to the face-to-face interview, by the time you've had that, you've had X amount of communication with those people leading up to that. They know more about you. They've had a bit more of a personal experience. They've had some instant messenger, they've had some text messages, they've had a voice phone call, they've seen the videos, and then they're going to sit down and have a face-to-face meeting. That really puts people in the right mindset that this is a company that is not just going to communicate, but we communicate well. At the same time, it's an opportunity for us to find the people that possibly aren't so good at communicating, whether it's just they can't formulate a sentence, or they don't speak in a professional manner, or they might let a text message go 2 to 3 days before replying to it. We know that if somebody can't communicate well and openly, that might not be somebody that we want to move forward with. So overall, we've gotten some really good communication, but when it comes down to it, it's all about the person themselves as a complete package. And I think that's why with the educators, out of some odd, I've got one person that was really good with communicating. He had a real passion, not yet at that time for the chimney industry, but he wanted to make a change. He wholeheartedly, he wanted that dedicated paycheck, something that he could rely on coming in every week. Didn't want to have to struggle with making his own way in the world, and he wanted to have something that he could build on and turn it into a career. Like the ad says, this is not a job, this is a career. And that's especially with the way that we've changed up our whole business model by changing it to adapt to an apprenticeship versus a journeyman and then a master. When we get into that, it really shows that solid career path, as opposed to just telling someone, here's your job, let's go forward. So
Yeah,
I
we've been pretty
really
shitty
think,
on getting that up and going too. So I mean, right now we've been able to sell the vision, and now part of our goal in January, February, March is to get that completely written out and focused on, and getting the people to adhere to it.
right.
So I mean, and I say we've been shitty with it. I mean, let's face it, we just pulled ourselves out of a year and a half of pretty much losing our ass financially, not having enough employees, and so we wrote all this up, and let's face it, as soon as we got everybody trained to go out and work, we've been busier than shit ever since.
Yep.
And so it's been kind of funny, that we're now behind the ball, and
Right.
so and it will get caught up, and it's a massive overtaking writing a training program, and all that kind of stuff the correct way, the day by day of just the 6 week, but then we also have to continue with our continuing on education to figure it out, and with everybody, or at least quite a few people getting certified in February this year. It's going to be quite a challenge to figure out everybody's CEUs, what they have to do it. I mean, it's really, I mean, when you're a company our size, it's going to be a process. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, setting the what they call program so that this person on this date needs to have this task completed. So many days from the day they began the first task, the second task needs to be completed, and then a third task, and then, like you said, the continuing educations. We have to have those done at the same time. That way, we can follow through the career path. It was last January 21 of 2021. I'm saying that we sat down, we decided there needs to be a career path, and then in May was the first time it was presented to the whole company. Here's a career path. We did our final big bit of hiring, started everybody in all of the training programs. In August, we did twice the sales per week that we had done any August before that, and that continued on, and we've just kept being busy ever since.
Well, it wasn't quite twice as good, but because we've had other months, it was better than any months that we've ever had that didn't have a natural disaster.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I mean that's really the way it worked out for us. I mean, but I mean we did double last year's, which really wasn't that hard to do.
Yeah.
But we had the people to do it. I mean, and so I think the point of what we're saying today is we already discussed last week on the emphasis on always hiring. This is the path to hire. And then I think the thing that it's hard for a lot of people, especially as a smaller company, you have to do it. I mean, even with me, I don't have to do it. Like I created it and then I give it to you. And, so you're like an owner of another company that only has 3 or 4 trucks. And it's, you have to actually, it's not the 9 to 5 time to do it. I mean, how much do you work outside of the 9 to 5?
Me, myself,
Yeah.
I generally do about an extra 1 to 2 hours a day outside of that. But that's because my phone starts ringing before 9, and I'm generally still making some phone calls a little after 5 o'clock, getting the last few guys out of the field. But not that much more, honestly.
Well, you will be once we start doing my point is my point's the opposite. Once we start working on all this other stuff, you'll be doing that plus the hour or 2 more of what we're trying to build
Right.
to get it there. I mean, and if you're owner of a company, this is the point I'm trying to make. Nothing's going to change if you don't change something. And I don't mean change you, but if you don't change the way you work or add something to it, that's so, profound, nothing's going to happen. So, I mean, the thing that I always looked at, so for me, how did I get to where I am and what did I do when I came to training and advancement and stuff like this? I'll tell you, when I didn't have a John and a Cody and a whole management staff doing it, I'll tell you my secret to my success when it was just me managing, and I mean literally just me. My wife did the call center. She didn't even manage it. She just was the call center and maybe 1 or 2 other women in there with her. And then I had me and then the trucks. That was it. And what I did is I got up at 7 o'clock, if not 6:30. That's the time I normally wake up, so not by alarm. On Sunday, my wife didn't get up till 9:30 every Sunday, and I would work till 10 o'clock. So 3.5 hours every Sunday is when I would do it. And it was the same thing. So we didn't stop working Saturdays until, golly, I left operations in 2014, probably 2010. So from 2010 to 2014, I actually did that on Saturday and Sunday. I'd get up around 7 and work till 9 to 10 o'clock on whatever I was trying to advance. And maybe 30 to an hour every night, even after, dinner and stuff instead of watching TV. So, it's absolutely that if you can't do it 9 to 5, you're running your business. You really can't. You can do a little bit, but you really literally have to commit to some time that you're going to do every week to do it. I mean, that's just going to have to happen. And that's the thing I always hear from people is, like, oh, I just don't have the time. Yet I'll if it's one of my clients, I'll bait them. I'll find out in the first couple sessions, what their favorite TV shows are, and I will literally, when they tell me they don't have time, I will go, hey, I'll go to their deal now. Remember that this is an example. Let's just say they're watching Yellowstone, right? I'll be like, hey, did you catch up on Yellowstone this week? And then they go, oh yeah, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, well, there you go. You had time to do it then. And I would nail them with that. And I'm like, I bet you got other TV shows you're up on too. And so the timing thing to me, I mean, being that I never use time as an excuse for me, and I still don't, and if I do use it, it's a bullshit excuse. Everybody has time, even my management, even my employees. You always have time. Just are using it wisely. And I really firmly, I believe that. And when you talk to larger companies, you're going to find out that time is never a problem. I'm gonna have a lot of editing in this episode. Time is never an issue for people who want to get something done. If you want to get something accomplished, time is never an excuse. I'm not saying you didn't go to your kid's softball game or football game or had to go take your wife out for dinner. You have time for that, but you also have time to do other stuff. And it's just, the wasted time people have is ridiculous. And so, to the hiring standpoint, a lot of people don't have time to hire right now. It's the busy season. Yeah, you do. You totally do. I mean, if you're, I get it if you're in a truck, that is more difficult. Don't get me wrong. When you're in a truck, I get it. You do literally have to work, at night and on weekends, in the morning time. But if you're not in a truck, if you've made it to that point, time is never an issue. And you just have to be aware of that you're just using your time ineffectively. So, I mean, it's not a session for me to scold everybody, but by the way, if you're not using Bare Hands Pro as your inspection thing, you should be. If not, you're not quite on there. And honestly, they're doing advancements in their products all the time. Bare Hands Pro is your premier chimney inspection. If you want to get a hold of them, go to barehandspro.com. So anyway, and by the way, Master Services is not using Bare Hands Pro right now, and I'll tell you why. It's because we just haven't gotten there to where it implements with our KickServe yet, that I like it yet, but we will be using it hopefully next year when we get it on there, because the program is spectacular. Anyway, back to the hiring process. Do you have, okay, so I mean, you, of all people I know that have interviewed more people, you have any good tips on what you've done to interview people?
So many people get hung up on the little, tips and tricks, especially if you're set up, if your company is set up in such a way that you do have a sales team and then you have a repair team. Some folks do sales and repairs, one group, one guy, one truck does it all. But for the groups that have a sales team, there's some people that get hung up on the, sell me this pen type of scenarios, those things. I really just keep an open conversation with somebody, and I try to get to know them as a person. I want to know the things that are going on in their life. Master Services is a drama-free company. We don't do any drama, so we really try to weed all of that out right at the very beginning. We try and figure out, is this somebody that's going to have a major issue going forward? Do they sound like the kind of person that's bringing a whole lot of baggage with them? So really trying to weed that out, so that when we have somebody on the clock doing a job, we always preach to these guys that when they're on site and they're doing of what else you have in the day, what other stops you've got to make. When you're in front of a customer, that's the only customer that you have that day. We want them to feel like that. We want the customer to see that our guys understand that scenario, and that way we can really focus on the customer. And if somebody's got too many outside influences that are bearing down on them, their mind is always going to be somewhere else. So,
Well, in our onboarding video, we flat out, we go, I call it going negative, and we tell people, I mean, one of the best questions we love to talk about is if you're addicted to texting your wife or girlfriend, you're probably not going to be working for us very long, And so if you're, I mean, we literally say, if you cannot talk to your wife or girlfriend in an hour, more than an hour, don't start working with us.
Yep.
Because we'll find out, and you'll just get fired. So it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, if they can't make it through an interview without having to respond to a text message or check their Instagram status, they're not the person for us.
Yeah, which, by the way, I'm going to check our sales. And so anyway, when it comes to hiring, I just wanted to make everybody a point that hiring is important to continue doing as your advertising and your training and everything else. I mean, I think it's like I said last week, right now we have a gene pool of people that are not working in other jobs that are seasonal for the summertime that will have jobs next year. So now is a great time to start going to find these people that are in pest control that literally walk and knock. I mean, I love walking knockers. And so walking knockers, those guys can sell.
Oh, absolutely.
And so anyway, that's our time, everybody. And so I hope everybody, gets the understanding of you should always be hiring. And the process that we have is the one that we use. I got you that. If you want to message me on Messenger or email me at chat@outsidethebusinessbox.com, I'll be glad to send you over the ad. So thank you, Cody, for coming on today. We heard his dog, but we didn't hear him say anything. And so we've had a bad connection. So anyway, again, he said, thank you for having me. And that is all we will do.